Hello everyone, I'm Carina Solmirano, I'm from Argentina, and I have been working in the field of arms control and disarmament for, I think, the past 20 years. In the most recent years, in the last 5 years I would say, I have been working exclusively on issues related to the Arms Trade Treaty. The Arms Trade Treaty is the first international instrument that regulates the conventional trade in conventional arms and in small arms and light weapons. From the early days in which this treaty was negotiated, there was a big impetus and participation from civil society. This started many years ago with only 3 governments highlighting the harm that the proliferation of small arms and light weapons was making in the world. The text of the treaty was adopted by the General Assembly by an overwhelming majority of states, and in 2014, at the end, in December of 2014, it entered into force. This treaty, through the negotiations, included a very valuable humanitarian goal, which is the treaty also seeks to reduce human suffering. Today, the ATT family has about 115 state parties. Looking into the next decade of the treaty, I think a lot of the stakeholders want to start having real conversations about what it means, this treaty, in real life. When you look into whether there have been any new measures to control the import or export of their weapons, they are struggling with this, especially nations in the global south or in developing countries. So I think those are the ones that need to be targeted for assistance, for support, for outreach. Sometimes these instruments also set up provisions that involve a lot of work for states. And so there is a momentum in which a new state joins a treaty, and there is like this really positive approach to trying to implement everything. And then the willingness to do it sort of, decreases. And we have seen, especially in instruments where you have to do some sort of reporting. One thing interesting that I would like to see in the future also is how we include the new global framework on ammunition in this conversation. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people say, without the ammunition, the weapon, it doesn't have any purpose. Maybe in the future also see, are there any synergies, with the new discussions on autonomous weapons? Having real discussions about gender-based violence and violence against children, and how, the irresponsible trade of these weapons might have an impact on these 2 issues is going to be extremely relevant. I think that there is an opportunity to also see how other treaties are including other stakeholders. When I mentioned that the ATT, for instance, includes, civil society, but I know that other instruments, they have brought victims, right? The victims are also part of, the conversations. And at the end of the day, I think, the inclusivity of these communities are the ones that are going to make the difference, in terms of promoting that peace and stability that each treaty seeks to do.